What's up, Zox fan? We're back with some more Etheria Restart. Now, we have a pretty massive Flash update that's going to be coming into the game. And this is going to be an update that's going to be helping players with a couple of different things. And it's all going to be relative to progression. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. The first thing is going to be a limited time event called the Wishbender gift. Now, this is going to be our first event that we're going to have like this. It's basically when summoning Animus in the permanent summon, you can earn Wishbender points. Once your points reach certain thresholds, you can claim stage rewards such as Perfect Lattice, Quantum Cipher boxes, which is going to include SSR Animus selections like Klaus, Veronica, Tsukiyomi, and then Quantum prototypes and more. Now, what exactly is this event doing, right? Who is this event for? Who's able to take advantage of it? Obviously everybody, because even me, myself, like personally, like unless like you're just one of those super lucky dudes or you weld until you got everything, you're probably missing something, right? And I will say that like the general rule of thumb, especially when we first started, was to pull the permanent summon banner, because that allows you to flesh out your account. Now, I will say that like once you get to like where we're at now, like if you've been playing day one, and you kind of gotten a vast majority of things, the permanent summoner banner actually becomes a little less lucrative because of the fact that you're pulling for, you know, basically a needle in a haystack. Like you're pulling against all these units that you already have now. And so the value starts to diminish. And so with the rate up banners that we would get, for example, like when Nahor and Fuchi just came out, that was something that was like, you know, obviously really high in value for those that just wanted to get, say, Fuchi, for example, because that allowed you to just get that character and you didn't have to worry about anything else. But the catch-22 to those banners is that then again, when you're pulling on those banners, there are no other SSRs accessible on them, right? So you're not like, again, worried about anything else, but you also don't have any other options to also possibly pull. So if you pull, say, a double, it's going to be that same unit, which in this game, dupes isn't really as crazy, right? So that's something that I think that like when you're looking at the banners, that's like really been the big like difference between the two. And so what this is going to be enabling or allowing is for players to be able to get a lot more value off of pulling off of the permanent summon banner. Now, the real question is how much currency we're going to have to spend in order to hit these thresholds, because it doesn't state, right? I'm assuming it's going to be over 80, if I'm being honest, because that is going to include a couple of different rotations, like, or maybe it could be off of SSR proc. I doubt that, but I'm almost going to assume it's going to be quantity of summons used versus like the actual procking of like, say, a SSR or something like that, right? So with that being the case, are players going to have the ability to really take advantage of this? Now, I will say that the average player, yes, right? If you've been playing and you just at least have been like doing like stuff regularly, summon currency is not a scarcity resource in this game at all. Okay, like I like really honestly will say like, and I'm specifically talking about like the prototypes, right? The Animus prototypes, those are definitely not a scarcity. Like you should have a good amount of those, even if we're talking about like every, you know, like every other banner, it's like, you know, light, dark, then it's RGB, then it's another light, dark. That amount of time, like if you're like, even just within that period of time, if you're just doing, even before that event goes away, just the tower mode, if you're logging in, doing your union, if you're doing Etheria, like that will just naturally accumulate. Like I have not bought you know, Animus prototypes and forever. You know what I mean? Like that's just something that you just kind of naturally accumulates, right? Now, the thing I will say though is if the rotations are so high, how achievable is that SSR Animus selection box, and is it going to be worth it? That's something we kind of have to wait to see when they drop it, because I think the other thing is too, is that the Animus selection box is going to be quite a powerful thing, because if it's allowing you to maybe, again, we had one selector in the game, and that was at the very beginning of the game. If this is going to be giving players the opportunity to then pick up, say, units like Klaus, who a lot of players are missing, right? And I would argue for a lot of PvE, Klaus is one of the best in slot debuffers, right? Veronica is amazing in some PvE stuff like Terra Matan, but she's even more of a standout character in PvP. And then same can be said with Tsukiyomi. Like Tsukiyomi actually holds a lot of power and position in both PvE and PvP. So, I mean, to be honest, like there's definitely like a lot of reason why a player would absolutely aim for an event like this. And I know some people are like, but it's permanent summon. But hey, you don't care if like at the end of the day, you're able to get a selection on a character that you have not been able to pull for. Like another character I think a lot of players are going to be going for is probably going to be Silence, right? So I'm going to have a whole nother video talking about that too. But that's just going to be my opinion on everything, right? So with that, they go to say, too, that there's going to be quantum prototypes and more. So we'll just have to wait and see, right? Now, with this, okay, this is going to be taking place on the tomorrow. And the event period is going to be lasting from the 7th, or sorry, it happens the 7th, and it will last until the 14th. So the update will be happening tomorrow, but the actual event won't be going live until the 7th. So that's basically that, right? Now, the next thing that we got going on is the limited time event, the Blessings Galore. So during the event, it says receive double rewards from investigation, threshold, and GP outposts. So this is something that's going to end up helping you out tremendously. Because during this event period, this is going to be our third, that's crazy, I can count these, our third time that we're going to be getting the Blessings Galore. Now, unlike the very first time, I would say like, you know, we were farming EXP. The second time, a lot of the higher end players were probably shifting into gear. And a lot of the casuals were probably still doing like, you know, Animus XP, doing gear respectively, but terrible runs. I would argue that now on average, more players do have the ability to actually run more gear dungeons. And so I think that this is actually going to be a really important rotation for the Blessings Galore, because this is going to be allowing a lot of players to really be able to shift their accounts into getting into having the ability to actually do more competitive stuff. So in my opinion, up until the 9th, I really think that your farming goals, and I just kind of talk about that, farming goals should be that you are focusing shells up until that point. That's usually what I shift into. Shell farming, because you won't be farming it for the next few days, right? Like that's what's going to end up happening. It's going to be shell farming, and then you pick whatever else it is that you need to do. I would say at this point, most of us that are at in game is going to be gear. Maybe some, maybe some stuff for building units, but for the most part, it's going to be gear, right? And then from there, we will be able to like kind of go into like a building phase and stuff like that. The Etheria coin from this is going to be really high, especially with you selling like the pieces that you don't need. So yeah, this is absolutely a huge opportunity for you to really be able to take advantage and get some power boosting on your account. Now, there's a couple of different issues that they decided that they were going to be fixing as well, with some of the counterattacks, with like characters like Heinrich, Hoyan, could not revive targets with immunity after killing them. It was a few different bugs, so I'm gonna make sure I leave this down below so you guys can see that. As far as some of the like adjustments and optimizations, there was some adjustments for the applicable modes at the ETH Arena, Summon Arena, Fierce Arena, and United Front. Not exactly sure what changed. Maybe it was the like something interface wise. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I'll leave this link down below so you guys can check this out. But yeah, these are the most two important things that we've had in a while. Again, the Blessings Galore event is always like pretty massive when that comes into the game. And then the Wishbender, like I said, this is something that definitely is going to be a huge deal for a lot of players. We just have to now see what the quantities are going to be, because that would actually kind of determine how deep or how worth this event would be for most people. But I would just say, just from the notice itself and just from the information, if it is just all summon based, yeah, this is giving accessibility to not only free to play, but also spenders. And I think it's going to be a worth event, especially if it's within reason for you to be able to get that selection box. So yeah, guys, that's going to be basically that with this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Everyone, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.